Hi, I'm Vibhuti Sharma. I came today to meeting of minds at SOIN, and it was a wonderful experience. It was a very enlightening experience because unlike the usual day activities that we attend and other entertaining activities that we indulge in, it was a really thought-provoking and a really food for a thought kind of experience, wherein I came across different leaders from the industry, and not from just a single background, from diverse backgrounds. There were leaders from the social sector who were dealing with, there was a lady named Sonal who was working with an NGO Protsahan, and there was Justice Sodi, there was another socialist, Ms. Vinita, and it was a really enlightening experience. I came to learn about different things, that not just learning things and expecting things from our country, but being a responsible citizen is also equally important, and we should take ownership for all our actions. And rather than complaining for this in our system and finding faults in our system, we should be ready to make changes and be the change.
I used to have 100 cases listed every day. 100. My list ran into and I started. What am I going to do?
And pass agenda and at least the house pass correct laws, change the correct ones, put the new ones in place. I think this is exceedingly helpful to the students, because then they seem to know you much better, and they can interact, and their doubts can be clarified in a more informal manner than merely speaking it out. I enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it.
It's been a long journey in Indian judiciary. What was your, if you can share some experience?
Indian judiciary is a very sound institution, and my experience is that by and large, though they grind slow, but they grind sure. But the slowness is something which is hurting the very image of the system. Consequently, we do need to urgently address this problem of being able to deliver justice quickly.
Now you are having a different role.
I have retired and I have no role.
We will hope to see you.
I just enjoy talking to you all, and that has been so kind to me to invite me here. I never knew I knew so much. I didn't even know much.
Great to have you here.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
We will be able to achieve 9% growth, reduce inequality, reduce poverty.
It's important to understand the environment. What's going through people's minds at that time? What's the emotional state, if you like, of people when they're thinking that? So another important thing when you're dealing with people to remember is try Try and read. Body language is a fantastic way of reading. Try and see if are they attentive to what you're saying. So if I'm speaking in this room and I see a lot of yawns, I'll shut up quickly. If I see people looking at me and paying attention, I might speak out a little bit more than I should.
Hello, my name is Sumit. I'm working in Maruti Suzuki since 5 years. I came here seeking something new to learn. What they told me will help me definitely in doing my business dealing. They are talking about creativity and how to be creative. They are talking about being confident, having a teamwork, and how to go about a business. Plus, the best part was they are also talking about a nation building. So while working in Maruti, I should know I have to build my nation also. Plus, I have responsibility for the society as well. I wish all best of luck for their future endeavors and two-year students also, because they are inculcating in them how to build a nation, how to be a good businessman, how to make profit and earn respect. Thank you.
Something, the ultimate thing which you are saying is the one solution is education. So what I did, education is to speak to so many youngsters in one go, and that too they were ready to listen, as everyone was saying that they are ready to accept what we were saying. So that was a wonderful experience, and we saw everyone was attentive when we were speaking, and we just hope that whatever we have discussed today, it will be followed, and this will definitely help our country to progress and reach at the highest.
I can't tell my team what to do and expect them to do it. I probably can for a short period of time, but that's really not effective. I've heard someone say this before, and I shall quote this. Leadership, a lot of people feel, is the art of getting others to do what you want them to do. I think that's only half the quote, or actually that is half the quote. There's something more that comes beyond that.
Hi, my name is Rohit. I just got through this soil session, and the session was indeed very interactive. We got to know a lot more things what practical life doesn't tell us.
Simple thought in my head, which I try to practice on a day-to-day basis, because I personally absolutely believe that this is probably one of the big things for us, is that EQ is kind of like a body form or a body shape. Where on the head, it is about being self-aware, continuously being self-aware, seeing who you are. If I ask you, and I'll probably do that right now, that on a scale of 1 to 10, where 10 you would say somebody is very high on EQ, where would you rate yourself?
Working on citizenship is because today the young people in this country are listening.
I want to thank Soil for inviting me to this panel, and it was a very interesting panel, because I think if you go away with more ideas and thoughts and inspiration than you came in, then it's a great panel. And I was with 3 other very, very interesting people, and I learned from them. It is always a great opportunity to meet people from various segments and learn from them. But today I think it was especially interesting and effective, because we had on my right was Justice Sodhi, who had spent so many years applying himself in law and ensuring that his humanity came through his judgments. I have left feeling absolutely inspired by his complete dedication to his task, and so I carry that with me today, and hope to do something like that in my own life. And then on my left was Sonal, who reminded me a lot of the time that I was 23 or 24, whatever that age that she is at the moment, and so committed and focused around what she wants to achieve. I think looking back, if at that time, whereas I had a lot of ideas around what I wanted to do, but if I had that kind of focus, I'm sure I would have done even more than I have achieved. So bringing that focus back into my life is what I take away from Sonal. and also from Acharya ji, the whole idea of taking individual responsibility. I feel it connects very closely with my idea of citizen leadership, which is about each citizen taking that ownership and then building the nation. So in a sense, I have to say, I do not know how much I have contributed, but I have learned a lot. I think the forum itself was very interesting. Everybody had a point of view, and the process which was set in terms of smaller groups was very interesting also. The takeaways are huge. It has been a great afternoon. Thank you.
The divine spark in us has been programmed, and all the practices of the ancient wisdom of India are sitting there to support. And I just came across this ancient wisdom.
Hi, we are from SR University, and today we had a very great session on many different things like EQ. Is it important, or is it the IQ and the SQ? That is spiritual question, which ultimately at the end we came up with something that EQ plays a very big role after the IQ. IQ is the first step, but after next 10 steps is the EQ. So what we learned today is just for first 10 minutes if you are in your life, go for IQ, and for rest of the 20 minutes or 30 minutes of 23 minutes, go for EQ. Next, what we learned was express yourself whatever is the situation. If you express yourself, you'll make people come closer to you, they'll express themselves, and you'll share many more good ideas. And the third, last session that we had today was about how young people can build up new enterprises and how influential that can be globally. So after all this, we are now very motivated that we'll do something in a positive way so that we can bring our country to the next level.
I will conclude that we have stepped out from our technical skills to a professional skill, how we will communicate in the professional world out there. It's a very good standard from the soil which we have introduced, and it has given us a lot which will help us in our professional careers.
Mainly the meeting of mind was great. Till about I want to conclude with leadership and creativity. How can we mold it in a single way, and we can develop ourselves, enterprises, our companies, or a business plan, and work out and enhance a company. Thanks. Thank you, Soil. Thanks. Thank you, sir.
Colleges, the pleasure of ending up with a great placement package for your parents for your annual report of your college in the first year.
Hi, I'm Sonal. I run this organization called Protsahan. And I'm completely delighted that Soil has invited me over today for this conference called Meeting of Minds. And I should say that I'm thrilled much more than anything else that when I see young people as in not that I'm very old, but then when I see young people from their early 20s and 23, 22 years old, at least interested to bring that change, and that too when the talks have been more on bringing change at the policy level. Because not a lot of young minds in the country today are talking about that. The only thing that they talk about is that the government is not doing anything, and let's sit back and criticize the government. I think Soil has taken a wonderful initiative where they're at least trying to bring the thought leaders in touch with their students and creating a platform where the minds are meeting, I think pretty much practically when they're meeting. And having panelists like Justice Sodhi, Vinita and Acharya ji, I think it's tremendous for me to go back as a student, because I have been inspired. And the fact that, one major takeaway that I would like to take with me after this conference has been that you and I can bring a lot of policy change. We just have to be knowledgeable about what exists in our constitution. The sad thing is that we don't know what is there. So how will the question of ever changing it become, will be in the next, as a next prelude. So the fact that we have to understand the existing policies, I think that's one of the takeaways as a young person that I'm taking back. And also the fact that we are all young as a country. I was telling in the conference as well that as a country we are all 26, 27-year-old average age of an Indian is that. So where do we see ourselves as stakeholders in the next 20 years? Just as people who are going to sit back and criticize, or as people who will just hold the baton and try and bring change. So I think I myself am so inspired by the entire conference. So thank you for having me, and all the best to Soil.
Soil so far been a very good place to me. It teaches me quite well new things. Today is probably a very nice day of my weekend, which things like such comes in very few packages, and I'm very happy, I'm very glad that such opportunity to attend me, such opportunity come to me, and I'm attending the session. Actually, I'm a student. I will in coming future, I will work in the enterprise. Something stability in the mind about, and creativity needs to me, so it's quite helpful to me attending this session. I'm feeling a bit motivated about, I'm just feeling quite energetic about that. I was quite low before, but as Mr. Kaushik said, it enthralled me and fascinated me more, and just made me more self-confident than I was before. Every day. I don't know what the hell is happening. Let's go and go. See, you don't fall, you don't fade.